Hello and welcome to Electric Bike Report. My name is Pete. This is the Surface 604 Rook electric bike in for testing and review. It has that nice low step-through area, so it's easy to get on and off the bike. Generally a pretty upright and comfortable ride position. The 6061 hydroform aluminum frame with the integrated frame battery pack. Then the SR Sun Tour suspension fork. The built-in rear rack that's welded right to the frame. 500 watt geared rear hub motor with 750 watts of peak power. Then there's the torque sensor based pedal assist system, Shimano Levio 9-speed drivetrain, Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, and a full accessory package. So a lot going on here, and the base price is $19.99 with the stock battery, which is a 48 volt 10.4 amp hour. And then there's the optional extended range battery that adds $200 to the price point, and that is a 48 volt 14 amp hour. So this is a video overview, and I'll have a full review for you at electricbikereport.com, and there's a link to that in the notes for this video. But with that, let's get into the details. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the 6061 hydroformed aluminum frame. So this is a pretty interesting frame because they've shaped the tubing to create some nice features like the low step-through area and the integrated battery pack in the down tube of the frame there. So starting here at the head tube, you can see the nice weld details, and the top tube here has sort of a trapezoidal look to it. It's sort of rounded on the top, and it's got angular sides to it, and then it really just kind of wraps over the battery pack there that's built into the down tube. And that's a great location for the battery pack because it's centered and low on the bike, which is good for the balance and for the overall handling too. And the down tube has somewhat of a square profile for the battery mount, but then at the bottom of it, it's sort of a rounded profile. So, overall, some nice structural details as well as adding some style to the bike too. There's internal cable routing here in the down tube for cable protection and just a clean look. And that step-through area is about 19 inches from the ground to that low point of the step-through. And Surface 604 bikes are designed in Canada. And taking a look at the seat tube area, this is the quick release for the seat post, so you can vary the seat height quickly. And a look at the weld detail for the seat stays to seat tube connection, as well as the rear rack that's welded to the seat stays. So a really nice detail of the frame is the integrated rear rack that's welded directly to the frame for a really solid, sturdy connection. You can see here at the top there's these plates that provide a platform so you can attach a bag or strap things directly to the top, and then there's the side rails here that you can attach a bag or basket or pannier, and then similarly down here you can see those welded connections, and then the smaller tube for attaching traditional bike bags too. So this is the 48 volt 14 amp hour lithium battery with Samsung cells, and this is the extended range battery pack that adds $200 to the price point. The stock battery is the 48 volt 10.4 amp hour, so it's pretty nice to have the choice between the stock battery as well as the extended range. And you can see the full range test results in part 2 of this review, and there's a link to that in the notes for this video. So here is the battery level indicator. You push this button and it shows you your charge level. There's also a battery level indicator on the display on the handlebars as well. And then removing this weather cover here, there's a USB charge port. You can charge a smartphone or other USB device from that. So on the left side of the battery is the locking mechanism at the very top, and I'll show the removal of the battery here in a sec. And then down here there is a battery charge port, so you can remove this rubber cover and charge the battery on the bike or when it's been removed from the bike. So here's a demonstration of removing the battery pack. Make sure you follow all the instructions from Surface 604. Basically unlock it with one of the supplied keys. There's 2 supplied, and the battery rotates out here to the left side of the bike. And there's a look at the battery connection and the locking mechanism there, and then the down tube with the connection down there at the bottom. And then to reinstall, basically the same in reverse, just line it up down there at the bottom, and then up here at the top, and then just click it into place. Take the key, and then just double check and make sure it's securely attached. So here's a look at the battery charger plugged into the lower left side of that battery pack. And the charge time from empty for the large extended range battery is about 7 hours, and about 5.5 hours for the stock battery. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the drivetrain. First of all, there's the Wellgo platform pedals. These have an aluminum body with a rubber grippy surface on both sides, as well as reflectors front and rear. And then the Somox crankset, and this has a hollow axle for a lightweight design. Then a 42 tooth chain ring there, and a full coverage chain guard, helps to keep the pant legs clean. And then a Shimano Alivio rear derailleur that shifts through the 9-speed Shimano cog set that has 11 to 34 tooth range. And then the Bafang 500 watt geared rear hub motor with peak power of 750 watts. And this provides pedal assist up to 20 miles per hour, as well as throttle up to 20 miles per hour. So that makes the Rook a Class 2 electric bike. So all the Surface 604 bikes use a torque sensor for the pedal assist system, and that's what that plate is, just to the right of the chain there. And what that does is it measures your pedal power, and then it blends the pedal assist with your pedal power. So it really just follows your lead. It's a very intuitive ride feel, and so there are 5 different levels of pedal assist, but within those, it's just really following what you're doing with your pedal power. So it's just a really nice way to blend in the motor power with your pedal power, and it's generally found on more expensive bikes, so it's nice to see here on the Rook. So Tektro Aruga hydraulic disc brakes are used front and rear, and they have 180 millimeter disc brake rotors on the front and the back of the bike. Here's a look at the rear brake. And they have that typical hydraulic disc brake feel, just very solid engagement and a lot of power, and nice modulation of that power as well. So smoothing out the road is handled by the SR Suntour XCT suspension fork that has about 3 inches of travel, or 80 millimeters. And on this side here, there is a lockout dial. So if you're riding on pretty smooth roads, you can turn this dial and lock the fork out, so it prevents it from moving up and down, which is advantageous if you're pedaling hard and want to get the most efficiency out of the bike on smooth roads. And then just to open it up, just quickly turn the dial like that, and the suspension is activated again. And over here, this is the preload dial right here, so you can set the spring rate of the fork to your weight and riding style. So these are the Kenda Cranium 26-inch by 2.1-inch wide tires that are used front and rear, and they generally have a pretty smooth and efficient tread pattern, but they also do have a fair bit of width and some grip for riding on pretty moderate, easygoing dirt roads. So it's a nice type of tire to have for just overall versatility. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the ride position. Handlebars are fairly wide, and they have a little bit of a rise to them and just slightly swept back, but generally a pretty comfortable ride position. The stem is adjustable, so you can adjust the angle to vary the handlebar height and reach to really dial it in to your preferred riding position. But in general, a pretty upright and comfortable ride position for the handlebars. And then this is the Cellar Royale gel saddle. Has a fairly wide profile to it, and sort of a center relief section for just generally a pretty comfortable saddle. This is the stock Pro Max seat post, but Surface 604 does offer a suspension seat post in their online store to help smooth out the ride. So here's a look at the handlebar control area. On the left side is the ergonomic grip. These have a little bit of a wing here for wrist support and faux leather styling. Then there's the Tektro Aruga hydraulic disc brake levers, and there's set screws here so you can adjust the brake lever reach to fit your hand size. There's also sensors in each brake lever, so when you engage either brake lever, it will stop the assist. And then there's the thumb throttle here, so you can add throttle, and you can be pedaling or not pedaling, so that's an option. And then the control pad here, the plus and minus buttons change the pedal assist levels. There's the light button, the information button, you can cycle through information on the display, and then the on-off button for the display. So taking a look at the display, you've got your battery level indicator here, current speed. Power down here is when you're riding, you can see how much motor power the bike is providing. And then you got trip distance, your pedal assist level, and then this is the currently showing max speed. But there's a lot of information that we'll cycle through here. So right now it's in the highest pedal assist level, level 5, and then by hitting the minus button, I'm going down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 is no pedal assist. So it's pretty easy to vary the pedal assist levels there. And then over here on the right, I can cycle through information by hitting the I button on the control pad. So it shows your average speed, your ride time, then your odometer, and then the max speed again. So a lot of good information on the display, a lot of easy to read info at a quick glance as well. It's nice and centered on the handlebars. So on the right side of the handlebar is the belt, and you've got the Tektro hydraulic disc brake lever for the rear brake, and the Shimano 9-speed shifter, and then the ergonomic grip. So under the display on the right side is a USB charge port for charging a smartphone or other USB chargeable device. So this is the front LED headlight that runs off of the e-bike battery, so you don't have to worry about charging separate batteries for the front or rear light. So some of the other stock accessories are the full coverage plastic front fender and the rear fender here, as well as that integrated frame rack, the LED rear light that runs off of the e-bike battery, and the kickstand that has an adjustable length so you can set the angle of the bike when it's parked. Alright, so that's the video overview of the Surface 604 Rook. Make sure you check out electricbikereport.com for the full review, and there's a link to that in the notes for this video. That includes a bunch of detailed pictures, specifications, ride characteristics, range test results, pros, cons, and overall thoughts, all at electricbikereport.com.